Hello there, and welcome to this Xbox Live episode 319. Slow downloads. I am your host, Mark, aka Wingman709, and with me this week is my good buddy, Rob.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rob, also known as Presar, on Xbox Live.
And with us also is our other goodest, bestest buddy, Brun.
Hello, Wingman.
Hello.
709.
Hi, Brun.
Run BJ Swick 33.
So, was that like a cool intro or what? Or was that?
Yes, I actually like that one. It's topical.
Oh, it's very topical this week. Trust
Like an ointment?
Me. Not topical. Not even tropical.
But topical.
I guess it is topical.
Like an ointment or a salve?
A salve. Hey,
Salve.
I just got signed out. How about that? Doggone it. Stupid Google. Sign me back in. I've just lost the script.
Oh, no.
There we go. I'm back. Okay, so we want to thank you for listening and joining us each and every week. We appreciate it. And, Brun, we forgot to talk about... you know what I'm going to say? We didn't do it.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you. Be sure to check out our website, thisxboxlife.com. We track each and every show there, so you can see what we're talking about each and every week. And you can also support this amazing broadcast. That's right, amazing, by going to thisxboxlife.com/Amazon and doing all your shopping if you're in the U.S. If you're outside of the U.S. and still would love to support us, go to our website and click on the Amazon link on the right side. It will redirect you to the affiliate page closest to you. Alrighty, so Brun, I know you're like ready to rant and roll. Did you want to rant before you got into what you played, or do you want to do it while you talk about what you played?
Well, I can do one before, and I can do one during.
Alright, wow, just go for it then. Just rant, baby.
Okay. So the first one before, it's just, I think that we as Xbox gamers should contact Microsoft and tell them just to pack it up and stop, just give up. Because they put the news out that they're shipping, that they've just about ready to ship 10 million units. I believe that's what the article said. Xbox One shipped.
Yeah.
Outselling PS4 has shipped 10 million, which is like 3 months slower than PlayStation. And, that's not good news because it's shipped. It's not sold through consumers because all the PlayStation people are like, well, Sony has sold 13.5 million to consumers. That's not their ship numbers. Hold on. But then, Sony comes out and is announcing some of their milestones because it's the Happy Birthday PlayStation. It was the PlayStation's birthday on the 15th.
Excuse me.
And even on their stuff that they put out, they actually said 13.5 million shipped worldwide. That's great. Xbox 10 million, they're 13.5 million. That they're both outselling their previous, systems. But then the Sony people came in and they start bashing and said, no, Sony has not shipped 13.5 million. That is sold to customers, even though Sony has stated it's 13.5 million shipped. And they said that Sony came back and took all this back and this, that, and whatsoever. And I tell you what, I'm just tired of it. Just pack it up, Microsoft. You've lost. And let's just all go buy PlayStations. And,
I'm gonna hang him up out of the call. I wonder.
It's just, I'll tell you what, and this is what kind of I'm confusing, and maybe I just don't know. But if I'm a company, let's say I'm a company, right? And Rob purchases my
You're
product.
a company.
Yeah. I'm a company.
I purchased your widget.
I make widgets. You purchase widgets from me. And then you turn around and you sell those widgets. Okay? So I say I shipped 100 widgets. Okay? do I care when you sell those 100 widgets?
Nope. Nope.
And do I only get the money when you sell those widgets?
Nope.
Because if I'm not mistaken, when I ship something to a company or to like a Best Buy or something, I'm actually selling it to them.
Yep.
Like they're the ones that handle it. If they want to offload it for cheaper, they sell it on sales. They do this and that. So both companies, both Sony and Microsoft, one has shipped 13.5 million. The other one has shipped 10 million. I could care less how many of those million are actually sitting on somebody's, hooked up to somebody's TV to where they're actually playing a game. Because I tell you what, I do not play games with 13.5 million people. Okay? It's like I play with the people that I play with, and guess what? They all have the same console that I do now. But, it's just I don't get it, and it's very tiresome. And when my Twitter feed's full of it, GameSpot's full of it, IGN's full of it. It's just non-stop. It is clouding
You just
the
said
internet.
It right there. Dude, you just said it right there. They're full of it.
I know. It's just
Yeah.
it's so tiresome. It makes me okay. Here, and this is kind of what my end of my rant was. This is why this is my last console I'll probably ever buy, and I'm going to go back to PC because you know what? Nobody cares how many games are sold on PC.
Well, it's because most of them are pirated.
Or it doesn't matter. I don't care. Nobody cares. But I'll tell you what.
Just
it
stop
is
reading
outselling.
it. No,
It's
Brian, you
I
just need
try.
to stay off of. Just just get your news
Stay off
right
the
from
internet?
Rob. Just get your news right from Rob and me.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
We'll tell
It's
you
just-
what you need to know.
and here's the other thing that kind of I was reading because I'm reading. I'm trying to look this up. This whole shipped versus sold to whatever. And the funny one that I read is PlayStation Plus. Fantastic deal. Okay, when they came out, I think Microsoft's playing catch up with the games and stuff that the PlayStation Plus gives away. But when you go around and say that since the PS4's launch, PlayStation Plus is up 270%. Anybody want to guess why? Because it's required to do any, to play online and stuff like that. So all these games that they're playing, they're like, oh, our PlayStation Plus is doing great. It was like, yeah, because you require it now. Just like Microsoft requires, Xbox Live. But yeah, I mean, it's like, that's what I'm saying is it's tiresome. It's even tiresome to filter through all the crap. Because when you have 10 headlines and 8 of them are just stories complaining about stuff, it's like, oh no, we're better. Oh no, we're better. Oh, we're better. It's just, oh my gosh, it just kills me. Does anybody care that Sony passed Microsoft? Like the PS3 outsold that finally caught up and passed the 360.
No,
Does anybody care? I don't care.
I don't care. I think. Well, first of all,
That's 10
Vengeful-
years. I don't care.
Brun, take a drink, take a breath, calm yourself down. Vengeful Loki has some really good advice for you. He says, "Such an angry man today. Just play games and enjoy."
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So what I've been playing.
No,
So
hold
what I've been
on.
playing-
You made a good point. A good point. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and any other gaming system out there, right? Their customer is Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, GameStop. That is their customer.
Right.
And the only numbers that they will ever accurately have are those that they have sold to their customers.
Correct.
I am not a Microsoft customer. I am a customer of Amazon. That's where I bought my console. Microsoft doesn't give a rat's butt where I bought it. They don't care how many people. They do care about how many people buy it, but their customers are those that are ordering it to sell it to us, the retailers.
Right.
That's the only number. There's no way for Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo to know how many units GameStop sold of their console unless GameStop voluntarily hands that information over to them. It doesn't matter. Also, both consoles are hugely successful compared to last year. They have outsold their previous console by massive amounts of numbers. They are both hugely successful. The whole who sells more than the other one doesn't matter as long as they're both successful and selling big like they are. You're just feeding into the little fanboy kitty garbage that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just don't even feed into it.
No, you know, some of the stuff.
Did they outsell the previous generation, or are they outshipping the previous generation?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
I'm just
It
kidding.
doesn't matter. It's sold. It doesn't. When they say sold, it doesn't. It's what they sold to the retailer.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all that matters to them. That's the money they made, and it's not like the car company where the dealer doesn't get paid until the car is sold. That's why they try to make you a big deal. The faster, the longer that car sits there, the more money they lose. That's not the way this works. Amazon says, give me 1 million Xbox Ones. Microsoft ships them to them after Amazon pays them for it. Then Amazon recoups their cost out to us. So, that's why they can sell games for $20, because they don't pay $60 for them. They bought them from the publisher for a set price, and when they want to clear their inventory, they might take a loss on it, but they've made so much money on the others that they can do it. It's don't feed into it, Ron.
I know. It's just, that's we were actually talking about this on Friday night or something. I was like, I just hope that the Xbox One outsells the PlayStation 4, so they can't say like 10 months in a row, because they're really going after it.
But they didn't have it. I mean, the 360. See, there I am. Me as Microsoft. We outsold the PS3 for 8 straight years or something. I mean,
it's like 60. They set a record. It's like 30 something months or 40 something months in a row or something like that. And I'm like, these guys are. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just like I don't reply. I don't feed in.
Yeah, Sony's marketing played into the fanboy base. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I would have hated it if Microsoft did it. I think it's stupid and juvenile. But hey, kudos to Sony. You did a marketing thing, a scheme that seemed to make your user base happy, or your customers happy, and excited, and whatever. I mean, I'm glad they like their console. I like mine. There's times I don't like mine. I was about ready to throw mine out the window this week, and we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
But who cares if someone thinks? I've been asked, well, which one's better? Like, it depends on what you want. I never have ever bashed the Sony. I'm like, unless we're doing something on the show. Unless we're doing something on the show here. I don't prefer that console, and I've stated my reasons why. But it doesn't mean one's any better than the other.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I'm trying, because we have our news that we have here, but then also I'm just like I want to like read up on some stuff, and it's like I have to comb through all this. It's just clickbait. It's like, oh, we're gonna put this so we can bait people in clicking it, and then you scroll down to see some things, and it's just all day long. These 12-year-olds
never read the comments, Brun. Read the story and leave it at that. I never dig down into those comments because it's always the same garbage, and then people are arguing with each other. Right. It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
So as far as that's one thing, and you're asking, So what I have been playing games. I played some Battlefield 4. I played some Elite Dangerous, and I played this game called Assassin's Creed Unity. And boy, oh boy.
Uh-oh. Rant number 2. Brace yourself, folks. Here comes the second rant.
So, for one, the game is broken. It seems to be the theme over the past, couple weeks of people releasing games and them just being flat out just broken. I mean, this game, you get into a loading screen and it'll try to load for 10 minutes, but what you can do is hit the Xbox button, go to the dashboard real quick, then click back onto the game, and it'll, bring the game up front again, because you know how it minimizes. And then all of a sudden it'll pick up and go. And just like, okay, Ubisoft, all right, I'm a fan of Ubisoft, and I've always said, like, they delay their games, and that's fine. I'm never against them delaying their games as long as when they come out, they work and they're good. And they've had a very good track record with doing that recently. Now, this game here just destroys everything that I thought about it, because you play the game, and Rob, not to jump in, you've played this as well. So, have you come across a blue or a gold chest in the game?
I don't. I might have. I don't remember it.
Okay. Well, if you have,
Yeah.
and you tried to click on it and you couldn't open it because the blue chest, you have to download the, download the companion app on your phone, and you have
Oh,
to
yeah,
sign
yeah.
into it, and you have to have certain ranks and stuff on it so you can unlock the chest in the game and do this and do that. And then, you come across this gold one, and you got to have initiate points, which is, sign into the website, and make sure
jeez.
that you get points from there. But the only way to get points is to have your XP based on all the other Assassin's Creed games that you played. And to get those Assassin's Creed games on the initiates, you got to have them hooked up to Uplay. And if you have it hooked up to Uplay, then they'll track your stuff and things like that. But yet it's broken too, and it doesn't work, so you can't open those chests up. Then as you're playing through the games, you got to go back because you can't do all that, because you got to have all those to have the 100%, and you can't do this and you can't do that. It is a mess, just a complete disaster of a game. If just take this companion app crap that every game has to have now, and if you're tying it to your game to where you can't open something in it, then throw it away. Just get rid of it if you're going to try to do that. If you're going to try to make it to where, let's take the Xbox companion app. You can message friends, you can see friends, you can add friends, you can check achievements. But let's say, hey, I'm sorry, you can't add Wingman 709 to your friends list because you don't have the companion app on your phone. You know what I mean? Or like, sorry, you can't run Netflix because you don't have the Netflix companion app on your phone. It's just like, I don't know what they're doing, but then the stuff that they have, it doesn't work. None of it's working right now. So the game is playable, but you can't do anything. It's almost like you were trying to play Halo and couldn't get into a multiplayer match. I mean, for crying out loud. So, Vengeful Loki, it's cold here, okay? It's winter time. It is 20.
Rant number 3. Here we go.
It is 35 degrees right now. 35 degrees, and snow is coming. I will be driving in snow tomorrow. But I mean, it's like, Rob, I don't know, like, but let me say, okay, so sorry. I will say though,
Welcome to the brunch show.
I'm playing the game, and I'm just going through it. I'm just playing it. You know what I mean? There's nothing with that. I haven't like taken my controller and thrown it or vowed to never play the game again. But it's literally like, here's a chest. So I climb up to the chest. I'm like, oh, it's a blue one. I can't do the blue ones yet because the app won't sync to my, from my phone won't sync to my Xbox One because the app's broken. And then I crawl over to somewhere else. I'm like, oh, a gold chest. Oh, I can't open it yet because my initiates aren't syncing with the other 16 games for the past 10 years. Isn't coming over. It's just, I don't know why they did that. And I'm not the only person I've heard somebody else mention this. They're like, it completely took me out of the game. And not to mention the first time I did it, it brought up the Internet Explorer and the Xbox One and completely crashed my Xbox. I had to unplug my Xbox from the wall and let the power completely drain out of it or whatever to get to where I could actually start it up and close the apps down. Because it completely, I mean, it just hosed up everything. And I was just like, this is a broken mess. But how's it going, guys? Everybody still here? I'm sorry, but that's my thing. Right, here. But it's just like, I got to sit down and play this weekend, and I was excited to play Assassin's Creed. And all of a sudden, it's just like, what's initiates? I got, okay, open. spend the next 30 minutes trying to fix my Xbox. You know, and then I'm like, okay, I can't open this. Let me click it. So,
So what else have you played there? What else have you played, Ron?
Xbox. That's it. James saying Xbox One, aren't you?
Does he like Assassin's Creed Unity?
Do you like his? He loves it. It would be his favorite thing right now because he watches me jump around and climb on the walls and stuff. And it's funny. Like I'll walk up to. Yeah. I try not to do that. He's waving to himself on the Twitch stream. But he would watch me do things, and then like he'll say press B to interact, and I'll just stand there, and he'll run over and look at my controller and press the B button. So, hi.
Loki thinks you might be featured on the news sometime soon.
Crazed gamer. So, all right, say bye. Bye. All right, ready?
So, is that it, Brun? I'm almost afraid to ask. What else did you play besides Assassin's Creed? Oh, my cheeks! My cheeks hurt because I just been laughing and smiling for like the last. We're 28 minutes in and we're still listening to Brun rant.
Yeah, how about it?
Sorry. I'm tired. I got a headache. I got a headache now. I'm so mad.
All right, how about we take it over to you, Rob?
All right. Well, first thing, I just wanted to add one thing. You had mentioned that it was Sony's birthday, or PlayStation's birthday. It's actually the Xbox's birthday. I think yesterday it was. The Xbox turned 13, and Xbox Live is 12.
Yeah.
So
that's
happy birthday.
why they're all act the way they do.
Yeah, happy birthday to Xbox. Yeah, they're all teenagers. Out of control. But I played some Assassin's Creed Unity, and I loved it. Everything ran perfect.
Let me tell you about that game.
It ran in 1080p.
900p.
It had more P's than I knew what to do with. No, but I played some Assassin's Creed Unity, and I see some of the flaws in the game, definitely. And I was listening to another podcast where they were actually talking about Assassin's Creed Unity and the issues that people had with it. And someone went to the developers, went to Ubisoft, and they were talking to them about it. About like how stuttery it is, and like that's one thing that I noticed immediately. I mean, it was not smooth. It looks good. I mean, the visual goodness is there because I mean, it just looks amazing if you're looking at like a still. But as soon as things start to move, you see the definite issues with it. And I actually had some control issues initially just because it wasn't smooth, where it's like the equivalent of oversteer in a like a racing game and such. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, they had talked to Ubisoft about it, and I guess Ubisoft didn't want to compromise their artistic vision of the game. They had something in mind for this game, and they wanted to keep it, even though systems, I guess across the board, it's not just the consoles, but across the board, systems are having trouble with it. And I know this is like a common practice on the, in the PC world, where they'll release a game that literally chokes today's PC systems. It chokes today's video cards. And then when people, get the next generation of video cards in their system, it runs nice. We don't have that option in consoles. We do not have the option to change anything until the next generation. And I think that's kind of crappy on their part to do it like that. Because, if you could do something, I mean, I haven't looked at this, but if you could do something to like lower the quality a little bit and improve the frame rate, improve the stuttering and whatnot, maybe that might make it acceptable on consoles. It's usually an option on the PC side, but rare, I think, on consoles. But when you get it, so to me, the whole part of the game essentially not being finished is kind of crappy on Ubisoft's front to release that game because I've loaded the companion app on here, and I literally play it, and I'm like, what is this thing? It's like it's literally like going into something with like no instructions, and you're like, okay, there's these 10 menus. I see these guys, I see these maps, I see these sub menus. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's like I'm at a loss with the thing. And I bought Assassin's Creed Unity on the console, and if they have a companion app that's optional, that's fine. But don't make it a requirement because honestly, I really don't feel like playing the companion app. And initially, I was getting the feel of one of those, those like compulsion loop games where they try to like suck you into playing it every half hour or whatever. I was actually wondering if it was going to be like, okay, do I have to come back here in a little while and check my assassins? Do I have to make them harvest, plot the soil, and plant seeds? What am I going to be doing with this stuff? So to me, it's like all unclear, and I'm not really sure I like the whole companion app business, or at least it was disappointing to me. On the flip side, it looks cool. I got to give them that. I mean, they definitely spent some time making it look pretty, but they definitely didn't spend time to make it clear, at least for somebody as, I guess, old and senile as myself, to be able to clearly see what you're supposed to do in these. Like, have you messed with it at all, Brun? I forgot if you played that companion that much.
I just had it on my phone, and I just clicked on something. I'm like, oh, here's a nomad issue or mission or whatever it's called. I'm like, that's why you need those to get the blue things in the game. So no, I haven't really done much of it.
Yeah, I mean, this game, it really gives me a sense like of this game is something that needs to go back to the old school days and give a frickin' instruction manual as to what you're supposed to do. Because nowadays the expectation is you plop into a game and you play, and that's it. You play and you learn the couple of things you're supposed to do. If it's going to be complicated, if it's going to be something that I really need to understand the interactions between things, let me know ahead of time. Give me an instruction manual and let me read it. I'm probably not going to read it, but at least give it to me as an option so I know what I'm supposed to do. Not like, okay, I've got this stuff here. I've got this stuff on my console. Okay, let me spend an hour with each one and then I'll try to figure out the relationship between them. It's like, no, just spell it out for me.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just weird and where all the confusion's coming in, and probably why most of the stuff is broken, is Ubisoft brought in the Uplay stuff, where it was just like, oh, when you got an achievement, you'd get these Uplay points, and then you could use the Uplay points for like rewards. And it was always like, well, if you get all the Uplay points for a game, you'll be able to get all the rewards, or you could save them for other rewards in other games. And that was always kind of like, oh, that that's kind of neat or whatever. But now it's literally in their latest game, you can't do something unless you've played their other games, and that's the part that's getting me. It's like I just don't understand. It's like, why am I locked out of things in the game unless I played your previous games? Like, why am I being punished? What if this is somebody's very first Assassin's Creed game that they've ever played? And all they're like, well, I can't play the game I just bought because I didn't play the other 6. So, and you're right. It's just like I can't get in. I can't just get into the game, but like, oh, I need to run over here and do this, or I need to run over here and do that. It's like, if I run over here and do something, all of a sudden it's like, well, did you download the companion app? Did you sign into Uplay? Did you sign into the other website or all the other games matched to your Uplay? It's just like, why is all this stuff involved? So.
I can see them trying to make like a cool experience, but make it optional or explain it upfront somehow to the folks so that they know what they're supposed to do. They know what's expected of them. Because, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't following it a whole lot. I mean, the Assassin's Creed, the Unity, the whole thing. I mean, I watched the videos on it, but beyond that, I didn't read up a whole lot on it. And I didn't know about the companion app until probably, I think, Thursday or Friday. I mean, it was a couple of days later. And, you know, at this point, it's like you don't even, okay, I didn't know about it because the game didn't tell me about it. At least I don't think it did. Maybe I missed it or something like that.
Who knows?
But, you know, it should be, if it's going to have the integration that it does, you should know about it. It should explain it. So, I mean, that's just one of my gripes. And then the other thing is the whole, the state that they released the game in. I was initially thinking like, well, maybe they rushed it to market because of, you know, they had the whole bundled console. It had to come out on a certain day. They were like going to get it out. And then, you know, they just had to get it out. Maybe they were going to try to patch it on day one. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, maybe that's a little plausible. But then something occurred to me. From what I've heard, I can't say this for sure, but from what I've heard, it's basically got the same issues across the board. Right? I mean,
Yes.
I haven't, yeah. So, I mean, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, they've all, you know, everything's got the same issue. So I can't even like cut them some slack on that. I mean, they basically like rushed this whole thing out. And, you know, who's going to pay for that? I mean, not pay for that. I mean, who's going to suffer for that? Us, the user. I mean, they already got our money.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of a disappointment a little bit. Just because, I mean, the game looked really cool. I had really high expectations for it. And, you know, I can't say that it's a total letdown. Like, you know, this game is like absolute garbage. But I've still got a little bit of hope out there that they're going to release some patches and maybe fix some things. At
Yeah.
least where the game runs a little bit better.
So on the 15th, which was yesterday, they released that patch 2 for the Xbox One that includes all the fixes from the PS4 version of the patch, as well as the fix for a specific Xbox One issue. Should be coming out soon. Or it says yesterday patch 2 was released. I don't think I've ever received any patch at all. And then the development team is doing everything possible to release this update ASP as they work into patch number 3. So,
well, on Xbox, you really don't know when the patches happen.
Right. Yeah.
They just happen.
Yeah. So patch number 3 is in the works. So they're already throwing out another one. That's based on their website.
Their developers just got to be scrambling right now. I can't. I can basically see them like working 24-hour days, and I know the life of a developer is not an easy one. I mean, those guys just put in crazy amounts of time, and I'm sure that in the months leading up to the release, I mean, those guys have probably been working, 24-hour days sometimes. 'Cause I've heard about from some guys that have actually worked in studios that it'll actually, as you're approaching the release day, I mean, these guys are literally like living at the office.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that too, Brun, because you're sort of connected in one way or another to that kind of line of work. But yeah, these people, I mean, they literally just like live at their office and they sleep there. They literally don't leave there just because they're trying to get this stuff crammed out. And
maybe while they were there sleeping and staying overnight, they should have hid the foosball table and made them actually do more work. So, but I will say, like, I know I ranted about it, and I was kind of, did my
both of your video just disappeared.
All right, there we go. I know
coming back.
kind of ranted about the issue or whatnot, but I
Rob,
did get the game for
Your
free.
video's
I'm
gone
here.
too.
Yeah, I turned it back on.
No, you're good, Brun.
Okay.
Both of you went off at the same time.
Oh.
How are we gonna get Rob's other camera? Camera 1.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Yeah, maybe 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 Skype is angry at the ranting and we should go forward.
Yeah. Skype's
And
like,
Benjamin Loki's getting tired.
I'm done listening to you guys talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Assassin's Creed. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Maybe they can do something to kind of fix things or patch things up. And I guess this could lead into a whole different topic, which I'm not going to push for right now, but it seems to be more and more common for developers basically to go to the last minute with releases in terms of coding. I mean, they'll release something and then they'll rely on that day one patch.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes, day minus 15 patch or whatever it is. And that's kind of a crappy setup. I mean, the early adopters basically get punished.
Yeah, we look at Halo. They're talking about putting out the Halo's putting out. What would they say? They're hoping to put out the multiplayer patch on Wednesday. So an entire week after the game's been out.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I played Assassin's Creed. And then, so I'll just keep going here. So I played some Forza Horizon 2. Not much more to say about that. And then I also played a little bit of Volgar. Volgar, the Viking or whatever is the name of the game is. That's the freebie game that came out this year. That game's hard. It's hard, almost borderline not fun. I never really cared for those types of
Oh, so it's like the
games.
Destiny raid then, huh?
What?
I said it's like Destiny's raid then.
What, hard?
Yeah, and it's no fun.
Hard and not fun?
Yep.
Okay, maybe something like that. But yeah, I was just like I remember, what was it? Like right in the beginning of the game, you get in there and you have your sword and then there's these creatures coming at you from either side. It's pretty straightforward of a game. It's got an 8-bit look and a definite 8-bit gameplay feel. So, guys come at you from the left, you swing at them with your sword. Guy comes at you from your right, you swing at him with your sword, then you have a spear that you can throw in either direction. And you'll literally just stand in a spot and guys just keep coming. They just one after another, after another, after another. And it's like, okay, so this is literally one of those games where, just like in the old days, 20, 30 years ago in arcades, where literally you will play until you die. There's no goal, really. You just keep playing until you die. And to me, that's no fun. It's kind of like Pac-Man or Space, or like Space Invaders, or I think some of those other games as well. Basically, you sit there and you just shoot at things until it speeds up to the point of where you just can't handle it anymore, until it just overruns you, and then game over. It's like, oh yeah, that was fun. No, it wasn't. So I know there's a lot of people out there that like it, and probably plays big homage to games. Was it like Rastin or whatever?
Yeah.
That game is. If you like that, you'll probably like this. If you didn't like Rastin, then you probably won't like this.
Rastin was awesome, but it was
Yeah.
hard too.
Yeah. Some people like that kind of challenge, and
No.
yeah, I'm sure there's people out there somewhere. But I think that was it. Yeah, that is all. How about you, Mark?
1 minute. Ready? You're on the clock.
1 minute. You guys got 46 minutes. I get 1. And I got more games than you guys have played. Well, let me start off. I played the greatest game ever, Assassin's Creed Unity. It was awesome. I had no problem. No, just kidding. I gave up. I was smart and never bought that piece of garbage. I, of course, played a little bit of Sunset Overdrive. It needs DLC. I want DLC on that game. Give it to me now. That is like the greatest game on this console. It's the greatest game of the year. It is game of the year, period. I'm telling you now, when we get our review show in December and we're picking our year, this is it. Nothing surpasses Sunset Overdrive. I played Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I played some crap Destiny because I got sucked into the raid because I was trying to be nice to our community, and they're like, please come help us. All right. I hate that game. I hate the raid. I hate everything about it. All he did was get people mad at each other and yelling at each other, and that's why it's like today I'm like, I'm out of here, man. Everybody's just getting mad, and I'm tired of hearing everybody yell at each other. So I'm like, I'm done. So don't ask me to do any more raids. I don't care about Destiny. I'm not helping. It's just it's a mess. Let's see. So I also played Halo Master Chief Collection. And before anybody says, hey, wait a minute, you said you weren't going to get it.
Oh, you got me.
I didn't buy it. I didn't pay for it. I said I wouldn't buy the game. I didn't buy the game. So there you go. Also, and I didn't rent it. Blah. I'll explain more in a minute. Also, I played Power Stars Golf, which I didn't pay for. I also played Valiant Hearts, which I didn't pay for.
Is this where we get shut down by some organization?
I also have Outlast and the Golf Club, which I have not yet played and have not paid for. No, what I wanted to tell you guys, it's no big secret. I mean, people do this. I know people right now on our Twitch feed are doing it. I finally took the jump and got together with someone else and did a home gold console switch, if you will. So my home gold box is at their house, and their home gold box is at my house. Anything I buy, they get to play. Anything they buy, I get to play. So I like it. It allows me to try things out and see if I like it. And it also allows me to save some money. So it's a way of sharing games instead of having to drive to someone's house and swap discs. And also, you can both be on the same game at the same time and even play it together. That's pretty cool. So I think this was kind of leftover. I don't know if you would call this an advertised, or not advertised, I know that. But I don't know if it's a hidden feature of the Xbox One, if it's something that they intended to be out there, if it's left over from their original design and it's something that they just kind of really couldn't get away from. So I don't know if we're supposed to do it. I don't know if we're not supposed to do it. Originally they were going to have the family and friends sharing anyway, so I don't think it's anything that there would be against. But don't really know. But it works, and so I got the chance to get Halo and all these other games that I'm now trying out. So, and I will talk about Halo a little bit later. Oh, I also played, Rob, you'll be happy to hear this, Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very glad I didn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It lived right up to my expectations all along. I'm glad I didn't pay for it. So we'll just leave it at that. Will I continue to play it? Probably, maybe. We'll see. I do intend to get a little further into it, but it's just I don't like that. Let me put it this way: things I don't like. Doesn't really tell you where to go. So many times you're kind of wandering around like, where am I supposed to go next? It doesn't auto pick up the ammo for you. You have to stop over every body and hit X to pick up ammo. And I'm so used to just playing games where you run over the stuff and it picks it up for you. And it's like you take a step and you got to hit X. Take another step, you got to hit X to pick up a helmet. Take another step, pick up ammo. Take another step, pick up ammo. It's just like, really? It's like it's a game of just hitting the X button. All right, so that's what I played this week. And next week, hopefully, I can report on the Outlast. I don't know if I want to try that or not. I think it's a scary game from what I know. I might be too scared to play. But maybe next week I'll be able to give you guys a little update on that. But that's it. Sorry, I took, 3 minutes. Apologize.
Yep.
Okay, so before we go into the news, Rob, um, we wanted to give away a game. And Braun made a good comment the other day. So what we're going to ask you guys to do is to go out. I'm going to put a post up in our Facebook group here in just a minute. It's not there yet, but I'm going to put up a thread saying what game do you want to buy this year that you have not yet purchased due to you didn't have the funds, or there's too many games, or you didn't know if you'd like it, whatever. Something that you would like to have that you haven't yet bought. We're going to pick a winner next week, and we will give you a up to $60. You're going to get a $60 gift card, is what you're going to get, and then you can buy that game for yourself.
Yep.
So basically, giving you the game that you want.
You're automatically disqualified if you say Unity.
No, you can have.
No,
you can buy any
kidding.
crap game you want.
Yeah.
Or you could spend it smartly and buy Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, we were talking about Black Friday deals and stuff, and I think you and I were talking on the phone at the same time. We were talking about the little console switch that you did. I was wondering, it's just like, here we are, we're going to give a $60 card out to somebody. And when Black Friday rolls around, you go to Walmart and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, get this game for $20, get this game for $20 and stuff like that. But then if you're a person who wants digital only, you go and you look at the game on Xbox, Live, and it's still $60. And it's like, when are these places going to realize that, they're missing out on money? Because they're going to be missing, I would give them $20 for a game, but if I have to do a disc, I'm not going to give them anything. So they're missing out on $20 just because they can't knock it off in a digital format. It's crazy.
All right. So if you don't, and I know Loki's complaining because he doesn't have Facebook. Well, hey, he told Brun that when Brun got an Xbox One, he'd get back on Facebook. So Loki, that's your own fault. You're not eligible for this contest.
Well, I thought we also, anybody who's on the show next week, if they put what game they want in the show,
well,
can't we include them?
The other thing was you could email us.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So I know not everybody's on Facebook. I was just giving Loki a line. Got to tease him. But I'm putting it up now. So just tell us what you have yet, what you want, and you have not yet bought, and we'll pick a random winner, and we're just going to randomly pick somebody. It's not based on what you say. So just, and then, hopefully if you win, you can use the $60 gift card to purchase said item. You can, and we'll give you, if you want to buy, if you want it digitally, we'll give you an Xbox code if you want. If you want to buy physical, we'll give you an Amazon code that you can order it through Amazon. And, or if you want to buy cat litter through Amazon, you can buy $60 worth of cat litter. So,
Cool.
All right. So let's turn it over to Rob for the news.
You have 1 minute. Go.
1 minute at a time. Okay. Pro Evolution Soccer 2015 is now available for Xbox One and 360. In addition, Shape Up is now available for Xbox One. So that's a game that you can get in anticipation for your holiday excess this year. Just Cause 3 hits Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4 in 2015. The new game, at least in the beginning, takes place in a fictional Mediterranean archipelago ruled over by a dictator, and you get a wingsuit. How awesome is that? You can pre-order GTA 5 Pre-Order Edition, that's a very original name there, for Xbox One for a mere $59.99. The pre-order edition includes the standard game plus $1 million of in-game cash to spend across Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. Grand Theft Auto 5 for Xbox One features a range of major visual and technical upgrades to make Los Santos and Blaine County more immersive than ever. In addition to the increased draw distances, so they say, and get this, hold on to your hats, make sure you're sitting down for this, it's got 1080p resolution at 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
Players can expect a range of additions and improvements, including but not limited to new weapons, vehicles, and activities, additional wildlife. Are they talking about animals or are they talking about people? Denser traffic, a new foliage system, enhanced damage and weather effects, and much, 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 much more. In addition, they have that first person mode. So Xbox sales are on the rise. The response to this wave of blockbuster game releases and new bundles has been amazing, and sales have skyrocketed since the new price change took effect, or actually the temporary price change has taken effect on November 2nd. Compared to the previous week, Xbox One sales in the United States have more than tripled, which is exciting, as more and more friends will be playing together this holiday season. And then as we head into the busy holiday season, Xbox One led generation console sales in the United States for the past 2 weeks. Shortly, they would have sold more than 10 million Xbox One consoles, as we had talked about earlier. And then moving on, despite its status as a critic and fan favorite, Ubisoft has no plans to develop a follow-up to the first-person spoof of the 1980s era films known as Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Ubisoft Montreal creative director Alex Hutchinson broke the sad news to IGN in a recent podcast, though he hinted that the developer might have something else up its sleeve, something unexpected. And he says that's what was cool about Far Cry 3. It was surprising. It was a great use of the Far Cry 3 bass and had an awesome soundtrack, but no, you won't get another one of those, but hopefully we'll be able to surprise you with something just as much. So that's a little teaser right there. Then moving on, Scream Ride is coming to Xbox this spring. Scream Ride, which I remember seeing the video a couple weeks ago, and it made no sense. Scream Ride hosts more than 50 playable levels across the globe, giving players a chance to push the limits of physics and their own creativity through its 3 different gameplay modes: Engineer, Screenwriter, and Demolition Expert. Share your original creations on Xbox One and compete on global leaderboards on Xbox One and 360, releasing in stores and digitally on March 3rd in 2015 in North America and South America, March 5th in Asia, and March 6th in Europa. Not the moon, the continent. Scream Ride will be $39.99 on Xbox One and $29.99 on 360. Then moving on, Kalimba, hopefully I said that right, is going to be coming to Xbox Game Store for $9.99. Kalimba will be available on December 17th for Xbox One and January sometime 2015 on the PC. So this is coming from the same developer that gave us the really good Max: The Curse of the Brotherhood. And Press Play is the name of the company. Press Play's highly anticipated puzzle platformer has players controlling animated totems on a quest to overthrow an evil shaman and reclaim the island of Kalimba for the Kalimbi people. The distinct look comes from Trixelated art style that uses triangles as the main influence. In addition to the unique art style of the world puzzles, enemies, and totems, Kalimba also offers both single and couch co-op modes. Creative director Asger Strandby calls it kind of a friendship tester. If you can play the game and high five more than you slap each other, you're probably ready to get married. That's an interesting take. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video for this thing. It looks strange. Very, very different. Something new. Moving on, Terraria arrives on Xbox One with a bevy of new items and characters not featured in the Xbox 360 version that came out last year, including new construction components, pets, NPCs, and bosses. Over 1,000 new items are included in all, putting it on par with the recently launched PS4 edition. The port also boasts new tutorials aimed at first timers, along with a split screen co op mode that supports up to 4 players. The Xbox One version of Terraria is available digitally for $19.99. Then we also have another game that just came out recently, Pure Pool. It's available for Xbox One. Definitely check it out if you're into pool and that sort of thing, or billiards, however you want to say it. And lastly, Battlefield 4 Premium Edition, or Premium members will receive the game's final map pack, the appropriately entitled Final Stand, on November 18th. And what is that, on Tuesday, I think? Let me double check. Yeah, Tuesday. Publisher has, EA has revealed.
That's a preview of the rant for next week.
Yeah.
Bron will be complaining that the DLC won't work or it didn't
Stay
ship or
tuned.
the server's gone down or
They've been running it in CTE for about 3 months, so it should work. So
yeah, well, we'll see.
I'll be playing it. I'm excited.
Report back next week.
Oh yeah.
All right. The DLC, which features the weaponized wintry wonderlands of Borussia, the motherland, will contain 4 maps detailed below, or right here, not below. Operation Whiteout is mostly outdoors Fragfest with a harsh blizzard rolling across the tundra. Hammerhead lets players fight across a submarine base. Hangar 21 sets the war in a secret military base. Karelia takes place in a rural village that is the only map of the pack not bathed in snow. Instead, it's got lush green landscapes. So there you have it. That's the news for this week. And here we are, 1 hour in. Yeah, buddy.
Nice.
All right, so let's move on to our roundtable topic. And this was going to be where I was going to do some ranting, but there's just no way I can compete with the show that happened earlier today. So I don't think we need to rant. I'm not going to rant. I'm all drained.
You're spent.
I'm spent. You guys put me in a good mood just by listening to you two going off. But I wanted to ask, there really wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and this is something I experienced this week, so I was kind of brought up the whole idea of, is digital downloading, are we ready for this? I think as consumers we're ready to take it in, but is the infrastructure there? Are the public or those distributing the software, are they ready to do it? And the reason I bring this up is there's some definite categories of different ways to look at this. Number one, not everybody in the world has quick internet. Some people are strung up and have slower internet speeds. There's issues with ISPs throttling your bandwidth or limiting the amount of stuff that you can download.
Or metering, worse yet.
Metering, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then also the demand for stuff when a new game comes out. Well, let's just use Halo Master Chief Collection as an example.
Oh, you're just picking one at random, right?
Just randomly pulling one out of thin air. Game's 60 gig in size. Took me 30 hours to download this game. 30 hours. Now, I have my download speeds are 40 meg down, which is pretty decent. I know people have faster. But I was looking at the Xbox's new network bandwidth usage options. And no, I'm not talking to you, Xbox. Stop listening. So I was getting anywhere from 2 kilobytes a second to, when it was really good, 3 megs a second down. and it took 30 hours to pull that game down. Now,
That's nonsense.
it is. Now, I was like, what is wrong with my internet? So I went and I was doing internet speed tests. And everything was looking normal. I mean, everything, and I'm doing a speed test while it's downloading, okay?
Hmm.
Everything is pegging normal. Everything I'm doing, there's nothing like if I'm getting I'm sorry, 2K a second. Come on, that's dial-up speed. And I'm like my internet, I would notice it just browsing the internet. Everything was popping just normal. I'm like, well, let me recycle my router. Let me test while my PC's hooked up on wired. Let me, my Xbox is wireless, so I'm checking my phone. I'm pulling stuff up on my phone. Everything's flying. Nothing's I'm like, okay, so it's not wireless. It's not. I reset my router. I pulled the Xbox off, unplugged it, let it sit for a minute, plugging it back in. Just nothing I did, stopping and starting. I would pause the installation and start up something else, and it was just, another stuff would pull down, and I did pull some of the smaller games down in between, and they went pretty quickly. And I go back to the Halo, and it's just killing me. So I'm like, then I'm kind of almost convinced it's got to be Halo. It's got to be on Xbox's side. And then so I start kind of looking. I mean, I'm even digging into my router. I'm looking at my router, logged into it, going, is there something here showing me a restriction on my Xbox, or is there something, throttling my wireless or something? And anything that I can see, everything looks good. So 30 hours later, it finishes. I mean, it took 30 hours for that one thing. And then this morning, I turned my box on and started downloading Wolfenstein. Now, that's like a 40-plus gig download, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. That game finished downloading today. It took about 8 hours, I think. But 8 hours to download a 40-plus gig game compared to 30 hours to do a 60 gig game. There's not, something's that the math doesn't add up. So I'm 100% now convinced that it had nothing to do with me or my ISP. Thankfully, it was. Nope. And it's something with Halo itself. Either there's so much demand that Microsoft can't dish it out fast enough to everybody, or it's sitting on one server somewhere. And I was joking with someone today that maybe it's on the server that does the achievements, because I know several people are talking about they got achievements that haven't popped. I've got the same thing. I got one in Destiny it never popped. I know people get them in Sunset. And there was, I think, several in Halo that people have. So I was joking. I said, well, when my Halo's done downloading, maybe that'll free up enough resources on that server. Everybody's achievements will start popping.
That's funny.
But, I mean, that, so now this one I didn't pre-download and so if you're doing the pre-download, I guess it doesn't matter if it takes several days to do it. Right. It's still ridiculous. But for someone gets a brand new Xbox on Christmas Day, and they're like, yes, I'm going to get Halo. So, you plug it in and you start to download it. Dude, they're not going to probably even be able to play before New Year's, because how many people are going to get an Xbox One on Christmas? And how many of those people are going to want the Master Chief Collection? Everybody that was playing this week, most people probably had pre-downloaded it. I probably wasn't competing with all those people. And that thing was trickling out like a dripping faucet.
It's going to be like the one Christmas when, was it Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 came out?
Yeah.
It was that, remember that Christmas, like Xbox Live went down for like 2 days or something like that? Because they gave everybody like 3 months free and something. That's going to be this year. This year, don't plan on doing anything.
It's going to be. I mean, people are going to be ticked off. They're like, I got my game and I got a brand new console, but I couldn't play anything until New Year's when everything was done downloading. Yeah. So if anybody out there is going to get a new one, you might want to download something small first before you jump, before you start Halo, because get something on there you can play. Now, granted, I could play Halo 4, I think, right out the gate. That was the first thing that installed. It was weird because it would pop up how things were downloaded. So Halo 4 was the first thing that was 100% installed. I'm like, really? I'm like, you're pulling the collection out. Wouldn't you want to start? Why couldn't Halo 1 install first? Why would they start and put Halo 4 on your console first? That's the one you can play. I'm thinking people are buying this to go back and play the original games. Make Halo 1 or Halo CE the first one that installs so I can start playing that. And like you couldn't do co-op in that campaign until the whole entire package is downloaded. And I still don't know if that's working right. I need to find out. But it's like there's a lot of stuff that's not available till the entire 60 plus gig package downloads. So it is a little frustrating that it took 30 hours. I mean, I even had to leave my Xbox on because for some reason when I turn it off, downloads stop working. So if I look at it that way, it actually took me an additional day because I started it at night, turned my Xbox off, and came in the next day and it didn't do anything overnight. I don't know what happened to background downloading. The 360 does it. I turned it on today, started Red Faction Guerrilla because it's free, and I turned it off. And then for the next several hours, you see the little green light flashing because it's powered off, but it's still downloading. But it doesn't seem to work on the Xbox One. It used to.
I thought it did.
It used to for me.
I thought mine did.
Mine did in the past. It has stopped doing it. I don't know why. So I don't know if something in the latest update broke background updating or
Maybe
whatnot.
Turn it back on or something because I know the Xbox.
I've gone in and looked at all my settings.
Flash. Yeah, the Xbox light will flash on you.
Yeah, mine does not do that. So I don't know if it's something that broke in the latest update or what, but so I've left my box on. I should have probably been streaming Twitch the whole time too. But what was weird is I was looking at the usage, so you can go into your network usage, and like between the hours of like 3 in the morning and 4 in the morning, I'm pulling down hardly anything. I'm like, this has got to be the best time to pull this down when everybody, most people are probably sleeping. So during the day, I was online playing co-op games, like doing the raid, the Destiny raid, and I'm like, I'm just thinking, this is going to kill my Halo. While I was playing multiplayer, all of a sudden I'm pulling down 4 and 5 gig every hour while I was playing multiplayer. I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense.
No.
I'm like, it should have been a lot less when I'm playing, and it should have been getting the bulk of it when I'm not. And it's just there was no pattern you could tell. Like I couldn't control anything on my side. So it was something definitely going on their end. Made no sense how it was working. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Are they ready? Is Microsoft and Sony and are they ready for this Christmas and this holiday to get new people and to be ready for digital downloads?
Well, I would say out of the two, I think Microsoft would be more ready than Sony, just due to the networks. Because I would say Xbox Live is superior when it comes to the online features and stuff like that. But I would have to say, yeah. I mean, Microsoft sat there and talked about like how many more servers they have for Xbox Live now, and things like that. Yeah, I'd hope that they're ready now. This year, you're probably. I say something's going to happen this year. Next year will probably be better, but we'll have to see. Rob, what do you think?
I totally agree with what you're saying. Just with the fact that Live is somehow tied in with Azure, that is, I think, critical because they can literally expand whatever they need at a moment's notice. Like I've seen some stuff on Azure, and it's just crazy. I mean, it just boggles my mind how all that stuff works. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they've got that on their side is a definite plus. This is definitely uncharted territory. It's something that's new to everybody. We really don't know what's going to happen. Microsoft really doesn't know what's going to happen, but they can react to it. Mark, you were talking about how slow things were to download. Well, I agree that it's frustrating to have that happen. However, the alternative is nothing happens. That's even worse. Just the fact that you were getting something, I mean, that's better than nothing. I don't know if you know what I mean.
No, I don't
It's-
agree with that. Think about it.
I
Come
know
on,
they,
you get. It's like Rob. I think you're a lot like me. You get that new toy, you
yeah.
want to play with it, and
Oh, for sure.
it's like this. At least in this case, I wasn't a brand new Xbox owner, who that's you think about your kid opening up his console. Think about it this way, okay? You buy Blake an Xbox One for Christmas, and he opens up, and he's this is Dad, you're the greatest. I love you, and you're like, okay, so we're gonna download Disney Infinity 2.0, and you go and hook it all up for him, and you turn it on and get his profile set up and get him online and go and buy Disney Infinity 2.0, and 30 hours later, he's finally gonna be able to play.
Yeah.
What? How excited? How are you gonna feel for that 30-hour time frame when your kid is screaming and hollering and freaking out because he can't play his game?
I just went through this actually. It took me all day to get stuff downloaded.
I mean, at least me, I'm like, I got other stuff to play. It was annoying because I thought something was wrong on my end, and I'm like, and obviously it looks like it's not because I pulled. The next game I pulled down in what I would expect is a reasonable amount of time. I think 6 to 8 hours for a 40 gig game is, I can deal with. That makes sense. I expect that. 30 hours is insane. I mean,
Yeah,
and I've had a year of digital, never had anything like that. That's why I was like, what is wrong? Something's wrong because I've never experienced anything like that.
I have had something similar to that, I guess, happen, and that was last year on Christmas. I bought my son a 3DS, and it was it was the Mario and Luigi. Oh, I forget what it's called. It's that RPG that they have where Dream Team, I think, is what it's called. Anyway, so it was the 3DS that came with that. It was a special edition. It had them on the cover, and it's a digital download. So when you sign into the Nintendo eShop or whatever it's called, it just downloads for you. It was about 3 days before we could even sign in. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that it was downloading slow. We could not log into the store. And it was something that I gave him for Christmas. So Christmas Day, we couldn't do it. The day after Christmas, so on the 26th, we actually went to GameStop and I bought him a game so he could play it. Because I was thinking, he could play the Dream Team initially. And it wasn't until a couple of days later that I could actually log into the store and begin downloading the game that was supposed to come with the console.
Right.
So that's a total fail in my eyes.
Right.
What's happening with the Xbox One, particularly these last couple of days, it's an extreme inconvenience. I don't think it's a total fail, but at least I think that Microsoft is more suited to react to it. Granted, I wasn't in your shoes. I'm speaking as an outsider and such to what happened to you, so it's easier for me to say it. On the flip side, I did download Assassin's Creed Unity. I really have no idea even how big it was. I was actually at work when I entered the code, and then when I got home, it was there.
Right.
So I guess one thing I could say is if you are going to be buying something digitally for kids, and it's on a birthday, some holiday, Christmas or whatever, maybe it's worth it to grab that code and enter it the night before. So it's there. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, no, that wouldn't work because it wouldn't be able to download. But if you were just to get them a game,
But
just
I
get
think it
ahead of time.
still shows the point. I mean, these games are going to get larger and larger.
Yeah.
Granted, this one 60 gig, it's 4 games in one. I get it.
Yeah.
And it's
That's huge.
but Call of Duty is I'll have to look back. I can pull this up and see how big it is. Wolfenstein was 40 gig. I think Call of Duty was even more than
30,
that.
40.
I think it
Thought it was 30 to
was,
40.
wasn't that the one that was 65? It was
Almost.
45 with a 20 gig day one patch or something, or was that Master Chief? I don't remember. I mean, even getting outside of the back end problems that are potential, inconveniences to us, you've got the whole digital download relies on a connection.
Call
And
Advanced Warfare is 46 gig in size.
okay,
So I mean, that's that's a pretty big game. So that's they're going to get bigger as we move on. Battlefield 4, 54 gig with everything that I have installed.
yeah.
That one's got some DLC. So Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, that's just the game itself. So yeah, that's a lot of data to pull down,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they're ready to handle it. We're going to
Well,
see an influx. I mean, how much longer is it going to take people on Christmas Day and later when people are getting? We're going to see a lot more people with these consoles and downloading and using this network. Both Sony and Microsoft will see a huge influx after Christmas. It happens
Yep.
every year, but especially this year.
Can you imagine, like, now, for anybody who's not familiar with like net neutrality, when people are talking about that, just even with the issues you're having now, just imagine if the net neutrality stuff fails, and then what happens is an ISP can go out to Microsoft and say, hey, if you don't pay us more money, then we're going to throttle you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And
Right.
then basically you're going to have Sony and Microsoft now, like, trying to scoop up ISPs. Then the thing will be like, play our games faster with Xbox Live and stuff like that. So when people are like, hey, talk to your congressperson about net neutrality and tell them that you want it, make sure you do, because you're talking about a crucial blow to the internet, and every service that you guys use on every device that you have, if that happens to fail or not go through. So
yeah, the other thing I was going to mention was all of this stuff requires a connection. And there's a lot of variances, I guess, in what you get with different areas of the country or different countries themselves. Like, there's a lot of parts in the world where your internet connection's metered, basically saying you get a certain amount of data and you pay beyond that, or maybe you get stopped. And if you don't have, let's say, unlimited, because like right now, here in the United States, my cable connection's unlimited, and it's 50 down. I mean, that's fairly quick. So these games can potentially come down real fast. But for the people that have a 1 meg connection, or that are only allowed, 5 gig a month, like on some wireless plans, I mean, this whole thing is literally out the window. I mean, in order just to support your gaming habit, essentially, you'll require like a $50 a month, probably minimum, internet plan. So that's an additional cost that you're going to have to pay on a monthly basis just in order to be able to play the games. However,
Yeah.
at the same time, internet nowadays, I think, is not really a luxury for most people. It's really a utility. It's something you got to have, just like phone service.
Just in the last 2 weeks, my total usage on my Xbox has been 325 and a half gig
Yeah.
just on Xbox. So that
Yep.
doesn't even count all the data that's gone through my phone, my wife's computer, my computer, kids' computers, any other console. That's my 360 is downloaded. This is strictly on the Xbox One. Over
Yeah.
325 gig of data in 2 weeks.
I mean,
So-
everything else combined is probably a gig. If that.
Yeah, probably. So, I
You-
mean, but this is
you're
where
the
the
hog.
ISPs are going to be like, now that all these consoles are getting on, everybody's streaming Netflix and Amazon Instant Prime and the Hulus, and we're downloading. You're going to get more and more people downloading all these large things. It's going to happen. You're going to start to see these unlimited plans go away. I remember with my cell phone, I used to have unlimited data. Well, now those are almost impossible to get anymore unless I think there's one carrier still doing it, but the other
Yeah,
major
you have
ones,
to be grandfathered.
yeah, the other ones, and I used to have that, and I'm now no longer on it because I wanted to upgrade something, and I had to change my plan to make it happen. And I was like, so I had to go look at the usage, and I'm like, well, I'm nowhere near what my limit is, but I still now I hate that I have to be aware of it, or I have to, am I gonna bust that, or okay, because now things change. Now I'm like, well, now that I've changed that, all of a sudden I realize, I'm streaming more music to my phone, which I didn't do, or so in my house I'm fine. I'm on my wireless, no big deal. But when I'm traveling, all of a sudden all that data now it's like, I got to pay more attention to it because if I go over, I'm gonna get dinged for some overage fees, and it can run you up, and I think we're gonna see that probably happen here in the States with our ISPs for our broadband. Why not? If they can make more money, Eddie, that's what they're going to do. And that's the way they view it. Oh, these people used to use this much data. Now they're using all this other stuff, and we're not making any money off it. It's a money. That's the way this world works. So it could happen. So I don't need to be metered. If I get metered, they're just kill the digital gaming for all of us if that happens. Or you're going to be limited to buying 1 or 2 games a month.
Yeah.
Which is probably more than I need. Maybe that would be good. My wife would like it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments, in the show on the Facebooks. And speaking of Facebook, we have a community out there. So look for us Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/this Xbox Life, all one word. We, of course, also have a Twitter, which, Brian, are you still tweeting for us?
Yep, I am on occasion.
And we do have a voicemail. If you want to leave us a voicemail, go to our website, click the voicemail box on the side, and of course, you can always support us through Amazon. So we don't have any comments from the community this week, so we're going to go into the plethora of stuff coming out this next week. And we're trying, if you guys find anything wrong, we've changed where we're gathering our information. Hopefully this list is correct. So
Well, it definitely looks better.
it definitely looked better, and I think it's more accurate where we're getting than where we were getting our information from before, which is pretty sad because the other site was a retailer, which always seemed to be wrong. So
Yeah, they'd be like, we have coming out nothing, and then like 10 things release.
yeah, exactly. Plus, I think we're going to get some things that might not be like this. Will give us an opportunity to hopefully list maybe some titles that like are going to digital only and that you won't see on the normal retail chain. So
Yeah.
But all right, Rob, what's coming out this week?
All right. So first off, I did want to mention that the 360 has the new Games with Gold that started, I believe, today. Red Faction Guerrilla. Make sure to go get that while you still can. You have until the end of the month. And then for this week's releases on Xbox 360, we have Dragon Age Inquisition, but I'm sure you already knew that. Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor, MXGP, the official motocross video game. Far Cry 4, Rabbids Invasion, Adventure Time, The Secret of the Nameless Kingdom, and Escape Dead Island. Xbox One has Dragon Age Inquisition again, Rabbids Invasion, Minecraft Xbox One Edition, Far Cry 4, WWE 2K15, Never Alone, Grand Theft Auto 5, also known as Grand Theft Auto V, and then Monopoly Family Fun Pack.
I was gonna look this up too because I thought Minecraft Xbox One Edition was already out.
Maybe
It's
it's
already out, I
retail or
thought.
something.
I think that
Oh.
one might be. Well, maybe that is going into the retail stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
So either it's out already or you can buy it.
It's available for download already,
Yeah.
according to Xbox.com, for $5. But maybe that might be the retail, because that release date was September 5th. So I'm not sure why that one's on our list. So ignore that one. When I saw that, I was going to look that up. I was like, I don't think that's right, and then I just didn't get to. So sorry.
Or let me look that up. I'm curious now.
Yeah, because that came out in September. I mean, I've seen people playing the darn thing.
Yeah, and the $5 is only if you've bought it, like on the 360. If you haven't, you have to pay the full price.
Which is what?
20, I think. Yeah.
$1
Still cheap.
million. Well,
Yeah. So,
it's because there's no graphics in the game.
Oh, it is retail. That it is correct. So
Oh, so it is a
Nova-
retail disc coming out?
yeah. It's November 18th.
Yeah, we see.
Oh.
We wouldn't lie to anybody.
well, Rob, that's good news, right? If it's retail, that means you can. Where can you buy it? If you can buy it, just
That's a
from
very good question, my friend. If you want to get Xbox One Minecraft with its 1080p's, make sure to get it from Amazon.com. Head on over to this Xbox Life /Amazon, or go to our website and just click the Amazon link in the top right, and then search for Minecraft, and you can get it and enjoy it and support your favorite podcast at the same time.
Why are my Minecrafts in 1080p?
Hey, and I wanted to ask if you guys are listening to us on iTunes, please subscribe and listen to us out there and rate us. I listen to other shows, and I'm so tired of hearing these guys brag about how they're #1 Xbox podcast. As I'm like, you know what? We're so much better. I think maybe I'm a little biased, but get the word out there. If you do enjoy the show, and I know a lot of you do, 'cause you come back every week. Share this with your friends and family, and your enemies, and those PlayStation fanboys. Be sure to let them know we're here. So we'll love them. We'll give them love too. So
Yeah.
and I did say, I think I posted in our contest a reminder. We got our contest going. It's up. The thread is up on a Facebook group. You can also email us this week. You got to email us before next Sunday because we're going to announce a winner next Sunday. Just name again. You can name any game that you have not yet bought that you want to buy but you have not yet bought. Doesn't matter what the reason, but just list the game. It's like, man, I wish I had Sunset Overdrive. I haven't because I bought Call of Duty, all this other stuff, and I didn't have the money, or it's a new IP. I wasn't, but I'd love to buy it. Just say Sunset Overdrive or whatever. If you want to list a Wii game, a Wii U game, a PS4 game, PS3 game, 360 game, PC game, we don't care. We love gaming. We love gaming here. So, and you can buy, if you want to buy a PS4 game with your Amazon gift card from TXL, I don't care. So
And if you want to buy a PS4, make sure to use the TXL.
that's the only yes. Just make sure you buy all your PS4 games with our link.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
So,
cool with it.
We're cool with it. Yeah, it don't matter. So again, that contest is up, and Brun, I hope you're going to be here next week because I will not be. So you will have to run the show next week.
Oh boy,
So, but
audio issues next week.
no, you will not have audio issues. You will make sure of that. I know. But anyways, so with that, did you guys have any last comments? Hopefully not.
Nope, I'm going to bed. I'm tired.
Happy birthday, Xbox.
Thanks for
All
coming
right.
out, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
All right. So with that, I'm out of here. Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.
Rob, also known as Prestar. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch y'all next week.
And I'm Brun BJ Swick 33. Have a good one.